Diabor Disaster here. I'm doing a new deck showcase for you today. I wanted to at least get the positioning right this time so that way size doesn't look like it's, crushed. So I think we got it down good. The deck we're going to showcase today is going to be the 7 Great Demon Lords deck from EX6. Tested this a little bit at locals with my buddy, and it just seemed awfully bricky. So we gave it a few hours of testing that night and came up with this list. Now this was just my take on the deck. I don't know what his new take is going to be on it. Originally we were all like, Lilithmon's just broken. She has the best potential removal in the game, but I think we've determined at this point that a few of the other ones are just way more important for making sure the deck isn't as cloggy. The first thing we've got here is our big boss. This is a Gudomon. She's, on Digivolve on attack. Place up to 7 cards with the 7 Great Demon Lords trait from your trash at the bottom of its cards, and then if you did 4 more, you get to delete one of your opponent's Digimon Tamers. It's really good for just spot removal if you just need to play a Demon Lord, use its effect, and then play him to just out one thing. And then on attack, by returning 7 cards with the 7 Great Demon Lord's trait from his sources with different names to the bottom of your deck, you delete 7 of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers, and then trash 7 of their security, and the number you trash from their security is reduced based on the number of cards you deleted. So basically you get to do 7 between the two, but you have to delete stuff first. This guy is your absolute finisher, and the way you use him usually is by your Digi-Egg, but I'll get to that in a minute. But he normally comes out of the trash, so you only need a couple of these. We tried, I think, with 4, and it just seemed really cloggy because the card itself is not great just on its own. You're better off just getting the 1 or 2 in your trash and then just waiting until you have the 7 under your gate and you just explode. I'm also on 1 Ruin Mode, 1 Death X, and 1 Apoclymon. The deck has tons of space for you to do a lot of things with it, so I'm trying out some generic good 7, since unlike Drazel, your gates does not stop you from digivolving. So you can play a Demon Lord and then digivolve into either of these 3 and, reap the benefits of their effects. Mind you, the gates does remove all your Digimon every turn, so stuff like Apoclymon's not going to be able to stick around. But that may not be that may not be a bad thing. But let's continue. Apoclymon here fulfills more of a wild card role rather than a deck out role. But if you are playing against an opponent who can only board 1 thing a turn, you actually do have a mini loop in this deck thanks to the queen herself, Lilithmon, that allows you to get Apoclymon back every turn. So it's quite handy. But continuing from there, we have 3 of the Belphimon Rage mode. This card is quite important. It's got some of the best, just generic removal, and it kind of lets you pick apart a weak board, but a wide board. On playing on Digivolve, it trashes up to 3 cards from your hand. For each one, you suspend one of your opponent's level 5 or lower Digimon. Then, regardless of how many you discarded and suspended, you delete all their Digimon with the lowest play cost that is suspended. Like I said, good generic removal. He's 13k, so he's big. You can also Digivolve him on top of Sleep Mode for 1, so if you did Sleep Mode's effect, and then you decided you wanted to Digivolve into this thing and get its immunity effect too in the same turn, you can do that. The next one is probably the second most important of the Great Demon Lords, and that is Daemon or Creepymon. He has Blocker, which is quite big, but he is only a 12k. On play on Digivolve, deletes one of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest DP, and then for each level that Digimon had, you trash the top card of your deck. So it's one of the cards that you have that allows you to dig deeper into your deck to get all your Demon Lords in your trash, because over time your gates absorbs them from your trash. But he's also generic removal, and it actually can trash a lot of cards at once. You can trash up to 7, obviously, so this can be quite good, especially on a restricted board setup. The 1 Lilithmon, like I said earlier, she's got probably I'd say the best removal in the game, but thankfully it has to wait a whole turn, and that's why I'm not playing more than one copy of her. She's a little slower than I'd like her to be. But on play on Digivolve, until the end of your opponent's turn, one of your opponent's Digimon gets the following effect. End of your turn, delete this Digimon. That means because you gave the effect to the Digimon, the effect that deletes it is actually your effect. So it gets around every form of protection outside of Alphamon from BT13. Everything else dies to it. It's really good. Also, once per turn, all turns, when it would leave the battle area other than by battle, you can delete a level 5 or lower Digimon to prevent it. So like, if you have Lucamon in play, or Lucamon Chaos Mode, and you want this Lilithmon to stick around for another turn, you can do that, and since your gates delete all of your Digimon every turn, this is a way to keep a Digimon on the board through your turn and get an attack through. Also, every time, once per turn, obviously, opponent's turn, when another Digimon is deleted, you burn your opponent for 1. So this is a way to get some cheap damage in early, and since she's only an 11 cost, with all 3 gate inheritables, she still only costs 2. That's, pretty good. I'd say the most important of the Great Demon Lords here is Beelzemon. He has Rush, which is quite good. He's an 11 drop, so he's at least 2 under the normal restriction normal reduction from the gates. But on play on Digivolve, he mills you 4, and then if you have at least 10 or more cards in your trash, you de-Digivolve 1 target by 2. So this card can help you break up ace boards, since most Digimon don't have protection from de-Digivolving. And if you hit an ace card off of it, you just gained 3 to 4 memory, sometimes 5. So card is really good. The mill 4 is super important early too. And with him having Rush, he's a way for you to get in more chip damage. Now, Beelzemon, Creepymon, and Belphamon in Rage Mode all have the effect that when they would leave the battle area other than battle, you can place a Demon Lord card from your trash at the bottom of your Gate of Deadly Sins. So, it's really good at making sure that your gates gets enough sources on it, because once you have at least 5, you can reduce your Demon Lords by 4 for each copy of the gates underneath itself. So if you have the 3 other gates underneath the first one, you're reducing by 12. And that makes every Demon Lord in your deck at most cost 1. Or free in the cases of Creepymon, Beelzemon, Lilithmon, and Sleep Mode. I would say the best Demon Lord here, not the most important, but the best, is probably Leviamon. I'm not playing the one from the EX6 set. I think it just sucks, to be quite honest. It's a bit situational, and I think I rather would play this one, who just on play on Digivolve pops 2 Digimon. And since you don't keep Digimon on the board and you're not playing any Tamers, you're almost always going to be behind in Digimon, which procs Leviamon's effects. Also, you get a memory each time you delete a Digimon, per. So if you popped 2 Digimon, gain 2 memory, it makes this thing effectively cost 11. And then we are playing 1 copy of the original Lilithmon. Now this card, I'll explain when I get down to the options, why we're playing it more often, but I did mention earlier we have a small loop with her, and I'll show you that when I get to the options. But she's just in here. She is a 7 Great Demon Lord, so she does count for everything. And then we're on 1 Sleep Mode. This card is insane. It costs 11, so once you have your gates up to its proper number, this thing is free. On play on Digivolve, it tucks Rage Mode underneath it to gain complete immunity from your opponent's effects. It can attack, and then once per turn on the opponent's turn, you can discard 2 cards to end an attack. This card's amazing. And because you can use stuff like Rival's Barrage and the Advent card to bring this back, it just seems like an auto-include, at least 1. And it is a different name than Belphamon Rage Mode, so it does still count as, the number of names you need for your gates to work. And then for the remaining Demon Lords, we are on 3 copies of the new Lucamon Chaos Mode and 2 of the original. These 2 cards together give you so much removal of Tamers. Also, so does a Gudomon. But because of this thing already reducing its cost by 3 for every 10 in your trash, that means in most cases this card is only going to cost 11 to play, which means it's free once the gates has 5 cards under it with different names. And then this one floats into another 7 Great Demon Lords when it would leave the battle area. And since it's already been, targeted by the gates, it doesn't see the new Digimon to delete it. So when your Gates deletes Lucamon, you can just bring out another Demon Lord and it stays. And then it plays mind games with your opponent, because this one says your opponent may delete one of their Digimon or Tamers, and if they didn't delete anything, they lose a security, you recover one security. So cards just really good value, and sometimes your opponent just makes the wrong play and costs them everything. And unlike the original, well, I wouldn't say unlike, but it has a Digivolve on Lucamon specifically for 6. That's one less than the original, so that's good. It's also a 13k body, which hits almost every level 6 in the game for at least a trade. And then the original one also just has generic removal of level 6 and below Digimon or Tamers, so just being able to control your opponent's board in such a way that most decks usually can't is what makes this card so good. Now that we've hit all of our 7 Great Demon Lords, the next card here is Raremon. This is a promo we got a little bit ago. It's unfortunately gotten to the point where it's a little expensive, but I feel like this card is absolutely necessary for what it does. It is a 4-drop instead of like a 6 versus like what Gizamon, I think it's AT, costs 6. Mind you, you can reduce it, but this is just a good card for 4, especially since your early turns, you don't want to give your opponent a ton of memory, and in your first few turns, your Great Demon Lords cost a lot of memory to use. So this is just a good card to fill in on your first couple of turns. And to go next to it, we have the new Lucamon. The new Lucamon digivolves on a Cupimon 4/5. We don't care about that here because we're not playing Cupimons, we're playing a different Digi-Egg. But when you would play it, if you don't have a level 5 or lower Digimon in play, you can play it for 5. So especially going second, this card is just crazy card value. It's a level 3, but it's 10,000 DP. And then on play or start of main phase, you get to reveal the top 3 cards of your deck and add an Angel, Archangel, 3 Great Angels, or 7 Great Demon Lords from among them to your hand and trash the rest. So, say you revealed, I don't know, say you revealed a Agudamon, a Demon Lord, and another card, you can add the Demon Lord to your hand, trash the Agudamons, who now it's in the trash, and now you're closer to your 10 cards in trash threshold you want to hit for your other effects. Something I forgot about, however, is that this Lucamon has an end of turn effect that says by placing one of your one of your level 6 Digimon on top of your security stack, this Digimon may digivolve into a Chaos mode in your trash without paying the cost. And since all the 7 Great Demon Lords that proc when they would be removed from the battle area outside of battle, you can use them to still stack cards underneath your gates, and then you basically just recover 1. And mind you, they're all big. So, like, anything level 5 and less is probably dying to it in a security battle. And then you get to digivolve into one of the 2 Chaos modes for free from your trash. So you can pop a Tamer or a Digimon doing this, or you can do this forcing them to potentially just burn themselves for 1. I've done it on empty game states where they didn't have anything on the board, so I just gained a security and removed one of theirs, making my end game just so much better. But that's all for our Digimon. Going into the option cards, well, actually, we'll do the Digi-Eggs first. This is Gate of Deadly Sins. It's a lot like the King Drazel Digi-Egg for the Royal Knights deck. Breeding, start a main phase, you put the top card of your Digi-Egg deck as this card's bottom Digivolution card and delete all of your Digimon. If this effect deleted any Digimon, you place a card of the 7 Great Demon Lords trait from your trash underneath its Digivolution cards at the bottom. So, like I said, a lot like King Drazel. Its next effect is how you get a Agudamon into play. Breeding, end of your opponent's turn. By deleting this Digimon with 7 or more cards with different names in its Digivolution cards, you may play a Agudamon from your trash without paying the cost. So, your opponent ends their turn. You have all 7 names that you need underneath the gates. You can proc this. You don't have to. It is an optional effect. So, like, if you don't feel like boarding Agudamon is good for this turn and you want to hold off on one more turn, you don't have to use it. But the most important thing here is the inherited effect. Obviously, the first one wouldn't get this because it's the top card, but breeding your turn once per turn, when one of your Digimon with the 7 Great Demon Lords trait is played, you may reduce the play cost by 3. If this Digimon has 5 or more cards with different names in its Digivolution cards, reduce the cost by 4 instead. Now, these are all you mays. So if you get to a point where you can, say, play Chaos mode for, I think, let's see, 14, 11, 8. So say you have 20 cards in trash. Your Chaos mode is going to cost 8. You could use only 2 of your inherited effects, which by the time you would do that, you'll have 3 typically. So you can hold one of them to use later, making another play just slightly cheaper, since this would make the Lusamon cost 0. But these all do stack, and you can use them all at once if you want to, and then this is how you get all of your Demon Lords into play for such low memory. Anyways, now that we've got how the deck actually works, we're going to go into our option cards. The first one here is Calling from the Darkness. This is just a broken card. We know it's at 1. This is part of the loop I was mentioning with Lilithmon. I'll go ahead and show the other card, and that's Lament of Friendship. So the loop here is that you would go into Lusamon Chaos mode for 0. You'll Digivolve into Lilithmon for 3. Lilithmon will most likely have the 10 cards in trash, because you always are trashing cards. You'll add back Calling and Lament of Friendship, and then you'll use Lament of Friendship to add back any Digimon in your trash. This is where you would get your infinite Apoclymons from your trash added to your hand, and now Lilithmon gains 2 memory, so as long as you kept turn with 1 memory up, you can actually keep turn still here. And then you would use Calling to delete your Lilithmon, and then return Lilithmon and Lusamon Chaos mode to your hand. This facilitates a loop that you can do every turn as long as you had, I believe it's 4 memory overall, and because we're playing memory boosts and your opponent often would give you too much memory to work with, because believe me, it happens, you'll be able to Lilithmon and do these things every turn, since your gates will delete Apoclymon every turn. You won't be able to keep milling them with it. But if your opponent is playing a super grindy game, like they're plowing through resources trying to, assemble some kind of win con, you can sometimes not even bother with a Gudamon and just drop Apoclymon and just mill them for 4 or 6 cards at a time. And sometimes it's enough. And do keep in mind that you aren't playing this just for the mill this time. You're actually using it to use the Demon Lords in your trash when you don't have the ability to play another one. Just think of it as you're getting another effect for 6 memory. And the mill is just, an addition on top. Now, one of our biggest things here is sometimes we need a little extra memory and a little extra speed. So we're playing 4 missed memory boosts, and to complement it, we're playing 4 Rivals Barrage. So we have a lot of mill effects in the deck, and we want to be milling this card. So often we'll use Missed Mem Boost to try and dig for these, dig for your extra Demon Lords, and set you up with some extra memory for the late game. Now, the card I mentioned earlier is Advent of the 7 Great Demon Lords. This is similar to the Royal Knights of the Purge option card that Royal Knights have access to. It's very close. For a 4 cost, you can place a Digimon with the 7 Great Demon Lords trait at the bottom of your gates from your hand or trash. Then you place this card into the battle area with a delay effect. When one of your Digimon with 7 Great Demon Lords trait is deleted, you can use the delay effect, and this is all turns, thankfully. You may play a Digimon with the 7 Great Demon Lords trait from underneath your gates without paying the cost. So what you want to be doing most of your time is using your gates effect and your Demon Lord effect to tuck 2 Digimon with different names every turn from your trash, and try and get up to your at least 5, so you can get your full reduction off of the gates. But also so you can have Demon Lords that you can toolbox out of your gates for the right situation. And then just in security, it's put into the battle area just like Purge is. But it only costs 4 as opposed to Purge costing 6. Mind you, it gets memory back the later on in the game you've played the Purge, but still, I digress. Now, one of the deck's biggest problems is Psychmon, and cards like Psychmon, where you can't reduce play costs. Obviously, you are trying to reduce play costs for the duration of the game, so we need at least one answer to remove Psychmon. Most decks can't loop it, or if they are playing it, they are, they're playing maybe a couple, so they may not see another one at least for a turn or 2, giving you a chance. So I needed an out for a floodgate like that. And this one seemed to be the best because it doesn't require you to delete any of your Digimon, and since your gates delete your Digimon every turn, you're probably not going to have the Digimon in play to use Deathclaw, which is the other good generic option to do that. So in this case, we're playing Tarnished Hero. It is a 3 cost, but it deletes any level 3 Digimon and is put into the battle area. And then its delay effect is your opponent may trash an option in their hand if they do not gain 2 memory. So obviously, your main purpose of here is using it to remove problematic level 3s or just to break up weak boards. And sometimes you do get the 2 memory off of it, so it's not a bad card by any means. And since it is an option that you can send to the trash on the following turn, you can add it back with Lilithmon if you want to reuse it. The last option is Biting Crush. This is the reason why I opted to play a high count of Leviamon. Biting Crush, if you already know from EX5, you trash a card from hand, delete a level 6 or lower, and then if the card you discarded was a 7 Great Demon Lord, you put this card into the battle area. And then all turns, when an effect plays an opponent's Digimon, you can bring out Leviamon from trash without paying the cost, and then just break up their board with this effect. It's just a good removal option card, and since everything in your deck is 7 Great Demon Lords for the most part, you're almost always going to have that condition met to put it into play, and force your opponent to play around Biting Crush going into their turn. Anyways, so that's the deck. What we want to do now is give it a test game or two. So we'll hop into the queue and see if we can find us a game. Alright, looks like we found us a game. And he has allowed us to stream, or to record the game, so that's cool. Looks like we're going to be playing first. His hand ain't bad. We have, a turn 1 play, and then if he hard promotes onto his board, we have another play. But this hand feels kind of weak, especially going first. I think we need a mulligan for a new hand. Ah, much better. We have all of our good opening plays in this. And he just subbed. Awesome. Thanks, bro. Alright, GLHF. So we got the gates up. So right now we're reducing by 3. But our optimal turn 1 play most likely here is either to play Lusamon or the Mist Mem Boost. I think I like the idea of going... Let's go Mist Mem Boost. Trash 2, draw 1. Wow, we trashed 2 Lusamon. That's so good. So we'll just end turn there. Now we have both Lusamons in trash, so our Lusamon can Digivolve next turn. Oh, we're playing a mirror? Fun. Oh, he's playing Boogeyman. I'm not a fan of this guy, really. Mind you, it can add your option cards. So it's not horrible. I just think that Raremon is a little bit better in this case. So we'll put our next gate up. This is the first time I've actually played the mirror, so this is going to be abysmal. I think we're going to go ahead and just... Let's see. Gate reduces us by 6 right now, so we could play Beals for 5. Or we play Lucy for 5. I think I like the idea of... Let's go Lucy for 5. Unfortunately, since it was revealed, you don't get Rival's Barrage here, but we got ourselves a Demon Lord, and we'll trash the others. Lilith, that's annoying. And since we deleted something, we'll go and put something underneath the gates. We're going to put Lusamon Chaos Mode underneath. So we got 2 names now. The gate does count as a name. Let's see. He has nothing on the board to keep Lilith from being deleted. So I kind of like the idea of... I mean, we could Levia here for 4. I think the answer here is to go ahead and make our Lucamon Chaos mode. So we'll go ahead and crack Mist Mem Boost to gain 2. And then we'll play Beals for 2. Trash 4. Rivals Barrage was milled. There we go. And then we'll go ahead and, I mean, if we attack with this, there's actually a pretty high chance it's going to get deleted. So I think we're better off just going ahead and making our Lucamon play. Ding, ding, ding. I'll add Advent to my hand and trash the rest. And then end of turn effect. And then Beals effect. We'll go ahead and put our Lilithmon underneath Gates. And then this card is placed at the top of our security stack. And then we Digivolve into Lucamon Chaos mode. Popping Lilith. Oh, I missed that. It actually rips your opponent's Digimon from it. Whoops. Ah, okay. That's information. That's good to know. Oh, you're right. Okay. Alright, she's a little bit better than I thought. Gates will delete Lilith. Milling for... Okay, he's on a scatter mode. That's pretty good here. Beal swings. 13. But now, since he risked the attack with Beals, he needs to actually, like, commit here. Since he's already reduced by 1. So he's adding Barba and Beals back to his hand. I feel like he should have added the scatter mode here, so he could actually play a card for 4. Oh, he's playing Labramon. That's pretty cool. Nice, nice. Okay. Let's see. What should we do here? Let's see. He has 2 Demon Lords in his trash. He has Lilith, the Gates, and Beals underneath Gates. So he's got 3 names so far there. And then he didn't play a Demon Lord, so he's not going to get any tuck this turn either. I think I just like 1, 2, 3 names right now. I think I'm just going to Advent. We're at 12 cards in trash, so if I Rivals here, I can add back Beals and swing with it, or I can add back Chaos Mode and or Belfie. Belfie right now is going to cost us 4. So that's pretty good. I think we're just going to use Rivals Barrage. like the idea of us getting back this now. Oh, I already had him in hand. That's okay. I think we just Belfie for 4. We'll discard Levia. Playing an actual Demon Lord is going to get us our 5th name this turn, so just need to make sure we don't place Lilith or Chaos Mode underneath the gates. Beals for 2. He's on the Via X. Very nice. And he got Rivals out of it. That's really good. Lucy for 5. Okay, he's setting up his Lucimon Chaos Mode move, and he has it in trash. Okay. So he added Beals to hand. And now he's going to get his 4th name. Okay. I don't really want to give him another security here. I'm thinking we go ahead and just let Belfimon get deleted anyways. We'll go ahead and put our Beals in there. And then Belfie gets deleted. Which is fine, because Gates is going to delete it anyways. We just don't get one more name out of it for one more turn. And he put us at 5, so I think we're actually fine. Okay. Well, since we have 5 memory, we can actually play our Advent and keep turns, so that's super good. And it'll place the last name we need within the gates. So we'll go ahead and play it for 4. Placing, I think we're going to do our Creepymon here. Oh, wait, no. We have Belfie still in trash, so we'll go ahead and do that. And now we'll play Beals for 0. We got a Gudo. Nice. And we'll de-digivolve Lucimon, dropping it down to the regular form, getting rid of its floating effect. We need 2 more names, so I think it's best we go ahead and just... I kind of really just like passing turn here, because he's only going to get one dude on the board for a while, and he doesn't have his Advent in play. So I think if we just pass... The problem here is his Lucimon procs still, and he's got 1, 2, 3, 4 names. We are ahead by 1, and he doesn't have... We let Lucimon get... or we get Beals deleted here. We'll get our 6th name next turn. We'll get 7 names if he survives the turn. I think we just pass. And our admin is live now, so if he removes Beals on their turn, we still get a dude. Okay, so he got his advent now. Lucimon is gone. He's got his 5th name. Barba into it. Okay. Yeah, he probably wants to keep his, he might be trying to set up a Binding Crush. Yep, he's setting up Levia here. We'll go ahead and get our name. So, we'll put Creepy Mine Sources and delete Beals. Now, here's the thing. We could use Advent now. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 names. If we use Advent now, we can bring out a Digimon, like... Ooh! Well, this is his turn, so he's gonna have priority. If we use Advent, he's gonna Levia X and just delete the Digimon we just played, and our Advent's gone. I think we just not. Okay, so we'll pass on Advent. Now let's see if he's got a really cool play to go into afterwards. Resetting up Lucy. Okay. On the bottom 3 Digivolution cards of one of your opponent's Digimon at the bottom of the deck, and your opponent has any Fury. Okay. This is rough. Because we have to let him recover and burn us for one. Yep, that's pretty good. We are in trouble. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 names. We need one more name so we can Agudo on the next turn. I think what we do here, honestly, we're too high still for Death X. I think what we do here I think we just Belfie, and then we just remove it with Agudo. Because at that point... Well... With Lucamon Chaos Mode, he's just going to probably bring back Creepy here. And then Creepy's effect is going to delete the guy we used to delete him. And he'll get his effect to get his, I think, 6th name. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, he'll have 6 names if we pop Chaos Mode here. I really wish we could just de-digivolve it with Beals, but we don't have one right now. Although we have Advent. So it depends what he does here. I think we should force his hand with Creepy for 0. Yep, he returns Lucy to the bottom of his deck. And Chaos Mode brings out... Who? Boink, 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 boink. Creepy is going to delete my creepy. In which case, we'll go ahead and put Leviathan into the gates, giving us our 7th name. And here we can since he doesn't have the X antibody, we can actually just use our advent here. We'll go ahead and use it. And we'll just play... He doesn't have a Gudo in his trash. That is huge. Yeah, we'll go ahead and play our Leviathan. Yeah, we made a mistake here. We actually should bring back our other creepy. But he does get his 7th name. So he's now got his 7th name, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 names. Okay. So we're actually fine here. Gain 1 because we deleted with Leviathan. I think we just board Chaos Mode here. Recover and burn. No, he's got a Gudo. Although he still only has 6 names, I think. Negate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Now Agudo is off the table for him for 1 turn. Now, when he ends his turn, Agudo can be revived from our trash. Beals for 0, actually. Now he's going to swing with Beals. Beals X, holy crap. That's a problem. We lose 2 security. No, and we had a Rivals Barrage at the top. But he has fully reduced his Beals cost. So he can't reduce again. But he can do that. So it will cost him 13. We'll use our Lucimon's effect. Tuck Lucimon. And then... Oh. That is a thing. I think we just... This is the end of his turn, so his effect is going to activate first. Well, I mean... We'll go and use our Levia. Those are deleted. He'll gain 2. Levia X. Digivolve. And he's got 7th lightning, yep. Alright, Levia is gone. 5, 6. I think we just really messed up. Because now we can't. Agudo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we messed up. Two, three, 4, 5, 6. Not necessarily. He still also doesn't have 7. So both of those get deleted this turn. Levia X will go to the trash. Heals X is gone. And he won't have a 7 until the end of his turn. If I just don't remove them. And he's on the wrong Levia anyways to gain 1 off that. So if I pop Levia, it's fine. But I can't let this get de-digivolved. I think we just Advent, and then Advent's effect will place Levia, I think, here. And end turn. Alright, so his gates have gained another lord. He has all 7 names he needs. Creepy for 0. What's he doing with it? He's cracking his rival's barrage. What's he doing with it? Because the guy only has 1 card left. He can't digivolve, because if he does, he loses. Just gonna play another creepy and put me at 10. I think he's just conceded, because at this point, well, let's see. If we use our gates now, he gave us enough memory to where if we could digivolve into Lilithmon, we win with a Pokemon. Can we do it? Well, we have to decide if we're going to Agudo first. If we Agudo here, he'll only lose 5 security because I have to delete both creepies first. So he's making it to where I can't kill him in one turn. I think... Oh, we could draw our second Chaos mode and actually have enough to do the Lilithmon. Because we don't have game with Agudo, so we should go for it. We drew Beals. What can we do with this? I think that was just really well played. I don't know if we have an out now. What can we gain off of just playing Beals this turn? Well, what we could do is this. We'll Beals. And then we'll reduce by 8. L4. Okay. Now Digivolve into Agudo for 6. And I think we needed that to be Chaos mode, because I think we have now just lost. So, we'll do our thing. We'll just end the game here. Yeah, rivals. Actually, I don't think we lose. I think we win. No, it has to be a Great Demon Lord. Our Agudo has to, or our Great Demon Lord has to be popped. If I would have just kept Beals in play. Okay, yeah, that's a misplay on my part. Actually, I should have just hard played one of my Demon Lords so I'd have one on board. Guy wants to play game 2. I don't think I have time for a game 2. But anyways, that was actually a really good showcase of the 7 Great Demon Lords deck. The mirror, I was not anticipating playing the mirror. That is actually really hard. I think the thing is you just keep them off of their Demon Lords that can stack more Demon Lords every turn, so that way they only get 1 per turn, or you just keep them off Digimon entirely. So that way their gates can't add 1, and then you just try and race to a Gudo or race to a Pokemon if he's playing it. Had I not played Rivals, I could have just played a Digimon, and then my Advent would have seen it, and then I would have brought out a Digimon to out his Agudo, and then he would have been out of cards. I still had 2 security left, so even if I would have given him like 8 memory, he would have needed way more cards than he could have had with no cards left in deck, so that's our bad. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and hope to see you back for the next video. If you enjoyed that video and want to see more, feel free to click on the most recent video link on the left side of the video, or just go to my channel link and check out all the awesome Digimon content I have for you there. While you're there, smash the subscribe button for me so we can keep the channel going. Also, more content on my TikTok about Digimon news, card releases, and just general rants about the card game, and the occasional random video. Don't forget to answer the question of the week at the bottom of this video, down in the comment section, and as always, have a diabolical day.